Welcome to today's MI tip on how to share information in motivational interviewing with ask, offer, ask. Last week, we shifted gears a bit and started to explore the spirit of MI, starting with partnership. Before we get to the other elements of acceptance, compassion, and empowerment, I thought we could refresh our skills around sharing information with the ask, offer, ask format since we touched on it last week in partnership. By the way, the ask, offer, ask terminology is new as of the 4th edition of motivational interviewing. Prior to 2023, it used to be called elicit, provide, elicit, or EPE for short. And I'm a big fan of the new AOA version, which feels much more friendly and collaborative, especially when I consider the difference between providing something, which feels kind of prescriptive, versus offering something, which feels more open, like take it or leave it. In general, when we're in the guiding spirit of partnership, we always want to check in before any detour or potential fork in the road when it comes to our conversation flow. And so here we are, we're wellness coaches, we're with our patient, we're in a coach, we're in a stage coach, and the person that we're coaching is in the lead. They're holding the reins. We're on the side, supporting their efforts and reflecting back their experience. From time to time, we may grab the reins to steer the conversation, but the key is that we always ask first. That way, the patient still feels in charge. And then we're not going to hog the steering. We do it very briefly, and then we hand the reins back over to the patient. And there may come a time when the person you're coaching is in real need of guidance or advice. And so, in order to maintain their autonomy, we share information in a very specific way with motivational interviewing. And what I want to suggest is that the ask, offer, ask format for sharing information is actually an ask, offer, ask, for us to really be holding up partnership in a way that feels empowering. So there's a double ask in the beginning. That first ask is an initial evocation of either what our patient might already know or what their own ideas are. And then from there, you may or may not need to go into the next ask, offer, ask because they may already have come up with their own ideas. Hooray! They're empowered. There may not be a need for you to do anything further. But if they're coming up empty-handed, then that's your signal to step in. Always respectfully, though, don't just snatch those reins up. You're going to ask for permission. That's your second ask. And then you're going to share your information. And remember, this is an offer, not a lecture, so keep it brief. Just share the headlines, hand the reins back over to them by asking what, if anything, they want to talk more about, and then closing the loop with that final ask. What do they think about what you shared? Okay, so what if the ideas that they come up with initially are dangerous or contraindicated? Do we have a responsibility to step in? Sure. Here's an example of how we can do that while still using the tools of MI. So the person you're coaching says, I'm just going to keep my calories to no more than 500 daily. That's always worked for me in the past. Wow, you've had the discipline to keep your calories that low in the past, so you're feeling like that's the way to go. Yeah, that seems to be the only thing that works for me. I wonder, how sustainable does that feel for you, eating 500 calories per day? Well, I know that I can't eat that way forever. It's just a kickstart to get the weight loss started. Got it. So you know the 500 calories isn't a way of life. It's just a way to start this process because you really want to see results. Exactly. Would it be all right for me to share some thoughts around that with you? Sure. Drastically cutting calories may kickstart weight loss, but it can also create a rebound effect where your body resists further weight loss because it's in starvation mode. That's why we don't recommend going below 1,200 calories daily without medical supervision. And for most people, weight loss is achievable at 1,200 calories or even higher. It may be slow at times, but it tends to be more sustainable. What do you think about that? And looking back on that, that may have even been a little bit too much information to share at once. Anyhow, take a moment to detect where the ask, ask, offer, ask is within this transcript. Did you hear it? Here it is kind of broken down a little bit. We've got some affirmations and reflections built in. Here's an affirmation of strength and a reflection to demonstrate understanding. And then this is the first ask. We're trying to evoke from them first before we start sharing our own 2 cents. Another reflection intermingled in there. And then we're asking to share our thoughts. That's the second ask. Then we share the information. And then we close the loop. We put the reins right back in their hands with that final ask. What do you think about that? And the person that you're coaching may not be open to what you're sharing, and that's okay. You've done your part. We can't make people do anything, right? And that's where acceptance is going to come in with that spirit of MI. And we'll be talking about that in the next MI tip. So remember, your patient is always in the driver's seat. They are holding the reins. We want to check that fixing reflex. If you're feeling tempted to grab the reins, first check in with them to see what they already know about the road ahead. If they know a whole lot already, you can relax and there's no need to grab those reins. If they're unsure or they're about to drive into a pothole, then you ask them, hey, can I drive for a moment? And then with their permission, you offer your information or advice, and then you hand the reins back over to them with that final ask, because at the end of the day, they're going to be doing the driving in their own lives. We often get members who are wanting guidance when it comes to choosing the right kind of medication, and that's the perfect time to use the ask, ask, offer, ask format. So here's some snippets to help you flex your ask, ask, offer, ask muscles. So yeah, again, a lot of members come to us wanting to know what kind of tobacco cessation meds should I use? So how might you respond when a member says the following? I know I want some type of medication to help me this time around. It was so hard with the withdrawals last time. What do you think I should take? And then here's another scenario. Imagine that the person that you're coaching is struggling with nicotine cravings under stress. And you ask them what ideas they have for things that could help. And they say, I guess I could just smoke weed. I don't know. I end up getting so hungry and I don't want to be eating all the time either. What do you think? All right, so flex that ask, ask, offer, ask format. And I'd love to hear some suggestions and options for your responses to those 2 situations. Please share them in the chat so we can all learn from one another. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful week.